We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Aubrey Miller Jr., newest linebacker for the Miami Dolphins, undrafted free agent type of guy, and he's a huge tone setter. He's like an old school style linebacker. He is very physical at the point of attack. He loves to hit people. He plays with a lot of leadership. Was the leader of that defense for Jackson State, and just really loved the tenacity, tone setting play style that he has. And then I think he's actually a guy who probably has, for UDFA, probably has a better chance of making the team compared to a lot of the other UDFAs, just due to the linebacker position and the contract he got from the Dolphins. Like, he got a pretty hefty contract for a UDFA, so I think they're clearly a fan of his play style, what he could bring to the team. Really, I think realistically, if he did make the team, he would be a very good special teams player. He has that sort of, play speed, physicality that you look for on special teams, which I think is really nice. And then, if he ever plays on the field, I think he would kind of be a specialist, maybe as like a blitzer. He's really good at blitzing. It's probably where he's at his best. And then what he really needs to work on, his coverage. I think he's like, there wasn't a lot for me to watch in coverage. He's serviceable at sort of spot dropping and zone as like a hook curl guy, but doesn't really add too much else other than that. Like, he can, do the basics of it. And then versus the run, he really needs to work on his instincts. He's like a run and chase linebacker. If he sees it, he plays it really well. Like, if he sees it well, he gets there. He has the athleticism to get there, the physicality to beat blocks. But he is a little undersized, and sometimes when he plays a little more hesitant and he just doesn't see it right away, he can get swallowed up by blockers, just be a little bit late to get there, and that can be a problem. So yeah, he has to work on his mental state as versus the run. But other than that, love the physicality that he brings to a team, and then he's a pretty decent athlete. Definitely plays better as an athlete than he tested. Start with this play just to show off what he can do versus the run, where he's coming down hill right away when he has to sort of like stay back, stack, and track, which you kind of have to do at the next level at times. The linebacker, he can get lost in the trash at times, but right here comes down hill immediately, takes the tackle on at the point of attack. When he has momentum like this, he has a low center of gravity, good leverage, and he uses his hands well, just absolutely tosses this guy to the side. And then out of that, he's tossed to the lineman. He's not even in like the perfect position, lay a big hit, but he still absolutely upends that guy, takes him off his feet. Really good stuff. Like, he is a powerful player, loves to get physical. Setting a tone like that, I feel like, is something you just don't see a lot of now at the NFL level, like at a consistent level. So I think maybe the Dolphins, team sort of likes that, the coaches. And I think, just due to that linebacker depth on the team, he has a decent chance to make the team. It's not the most deep position or even, great at the top either, one of the weaker positions on the roster. So if he, plays decent enough, I think he can really, get a role on this team, especially as like a blitzer special teams type of player. Here we get to see him, diagnose a run concept, work through the trash here. This guard's pulling to this side, this tight end's pulling here too. He's able to stack and track. Maybe he took a false step initially to the wrong side, but at least nice to see him able to recover here, get downhill, fill into this gap, see this running back is going to cut back into you, so he, scrapes over the top, lets this come down right into him, and he makes a tackle for a limited gain. Got to be able to do this as a linebacker. It's not always just the big, fat, flashy plays that you want. You just want them to be consistent, being able to understand run concepts, be in the right position, and then fit into the run defense. Stopping the run is very important in the Fangio defense because they run a lot of light boxes, so you have to understand your responsibilities. He is a blitzer. This is where he's at his best. Coming downhill, working, little delayed sort of blitz there. He gets the strip and the sack to finish this off. He can get there and close. If he's unblocked, he can beat running backs. He has some good closing speed. He just times this up, beats the running back at the point of attack. He gets very low. He does a good job of getting very low, but still maintaining some speed and power. A lot of times, players lose their speed and power when they get that low, and then he just bullies through the running back, tosses him aside with his left hand, and then uses his right hand to strip the ball out. So pretty impressive play there from Aubrey Miller. Love his physicality at the point of attack. Like, he just comes downhill. Once he identifies that it's a run, like, this guy's got some head of steam here, this alignment, and he still just takes him on at the point of attack. This guy's pulling around, and he just meets him in the hole, drops his shoulder into him. He is not afraid of some contact. I know that he's playing against some lower level competition, but it's still impressive to see him throwing around O-linemen. Helps blow this play up. Sometimes it's not always pretty from like a mental perspective from him, but when he just gets downhill, throws his shoulders into people, he constricts run lanes, throws things off, penetrates, makes it very difficult for offenses to get going. Here we got Aubrey Miller, blitzing again. He's very good at blitzing, closing, on the quarterback. Here he's able to get in untouched. Good job. He's sort of dipping his shoulders, avoiding some blocks here, avoiding the hands, beating, this running back, making him whiff completely. The running backs were kind of afraid to get to him, and he just is able to bend, chase this quarterback down. He plays with a lot of effort, as you'll see on this next play as well. Okay, so here we got Aubrey Miller in the Senior Bowl, actually. He had a pretty good Senior Bowl here. He kind of gets, cut off by this offensive lineman, taken out of the play. This is a really good play right here. He's just not able to fit into this gap, but look how he makes up for it. Like, this is him right here. This is running back. He's still getting blocked, and look at the effort that he shows to help chase this down. The running back has to make one cut, make a guy miss, and he just chases him down and punishes him in the open field. I wish I had more reps of him in coverage. There just wasn't anything to really go off of. He never really was targeted. Anything I saw, it was very hard to find film at all on YouTube. But here we get to see him, at least for a screen, identify what's happening. I feel like he's not like the most instinctive player. He's still working on, processing the game. But he stays patient. He stays disciplined. He realizes that, guys are escaping out of the backfield. He sort of glances to this side. Doesn't see anything really threatening him here. Looking back to the quarterback, sees that he's going to go to the opposite side of the field for the breakaway screen, and he puts himself in a position to, he dips underneath this lineman 76. He stays square, he stays patient, and then even in this position right here where he's bent like this, he's able to get around him and then make that tackle out in the open field. Impressive work from Miller. Another good job here from Miller, reading the run concept. If he can do this at a more consistent level, working over the top, he's a weak side linebacker on this play, reading the left side pulling guard away from him. So, stay square, work with this, don't over pursue, but sort of flow with the play here. And then now once you see this gap open up, fit into it, meet the quarterback at the point of attack, help limit this gain, get like a 2-3 yard gain. Impressive work. If he could do this at a consistent level, at the next level, then he might work his into some playing time, like some actual playing time. But like right now, I think if he made the team, he'd be more of a special teamer. And if he did see the field, it would be more in very situational packages where he's possibly blitzing, that type of thing. He isn't able to make this play in the backfield, but this is just so impressive that he's able to do this as a guy who's not the biggest linebacker. Look what he does to this offensive lineman. He absolutely destroys him, and he's just a little bit late, but like he extends the hips, the hands into him, the power just blows that. This guy gets destroyed, and it makes him a little late to the running back, but he still shows off effort. Like out of this, you can see the athleticism to flip his hips, get around, and still chase him, and he's still technically, I think it's awarded for this tackle because he's going out of bounds and he's the closest guy, and like that's a pretty impressive hustle play, but also just the initial part where he destroys the O-lineman is pretty funny. But so yeah, good work there from Aubrey Miller. If he's doing stuff like that in the next level, like coaches fall in love with that stuff. So last play, then breakdown for Aubrey Miller. Just work through the trash here, find this guy in the backfield. I think he even helps get like a strip sack there, or not a sack, but a strip there. And he's just working through this trash zone, flowing to the right here. Sometimes he can over pursue and get caught up. Like I wish he would stay a little more square, stay patient as he's working to the side here, because he doesn't need to overcommit because he's like the back weak side linebacker, and then just get down. Now he puts himself in a good position. So if he can, work on his technical skills a little bit when he flows to the ball, these are things that you can learn though. But yeah, makes his play pretty nicely there, and just overall pretty fun player when it comes to what he can do. Really tough to find the film on this. I know a lot of people wanted to see him because I feel like he's been one of the most talked about undrafted free agents for the Dolphins, at least from what I've seen. And then yeah, the blitzing ability is really what stands out. I think he'd be a special teams demon. I think he was a leader for the Jackson State defense, which is, something that is, I think, important. And young guy, makes the team. I think he could have an impact down the line. Probably not an immediate impact on a defense, but I think as a special teams player, I definitely like what he could bring. Sets a tone, makes tackles. Want to see more from. I just want to see more in coverage. So he kind of has like he's a similar play style to Tyndall. He's like a less athletic Channing Tyndall. So we'll see how that works out. Hopefully Tyndall can step up his game this year because he's still like developing mentally. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.